Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am here playing Dreamlight Valley, and I am telling the story of my family's spring break trip to Myrtle Beach and back, and all of the adventures we had along the way. So now we are to the point where we're leaving Gatlinburg. We had walked all through town, had an amazing breakfast, got some souvenirs, and we were finally getting in the car to get on the road. It was quite a bit later than we wanted it to be, but that was okay. We figured we would just head out. So our very first stop was Buc-ee's. We wanted to stop at Buc-ee's, and there was one, I don't know, 45 minutes or so outside of Gatlinburg on our way. So we put that into like the GPS, which it's funny, I had said in a previous video, the GPS was horribly out of date in this vehicle that we rented, so it did not recognize Buc-ee's as like anything. Like when you tried to put in Buc-ee's, it just didn't exist, so I had to do it on my phone. So the GPS, I want to say we had just put in the GPS just to take us home, so the GPS was like really mad when we went to Buc-ee's. So we went to Buc-ee's, and it was, you know, it was okay. It's big, it's got a lot of stuff. Me and my son Salem ended up getting shot glasses, and we got some food there. It's funny, I'm not really a huge fan of onions, but my sister and her boyfriend each got like a hot sandwich thing. I think my nephew did too, but my sister's boyfriend's came with onions, and when he opened up the thing of onions to put them on there, they smelled so good that I literally craved onions for like 3 days after we got back from our trip, and I ended up actually like making something with onions. I made Big Mac sliders actually, just because I was craving it, because when I smelled them in the car, they smelled so good. But yeah, so we went to Buc-ee's, and it was, it's not something that I'm going to say that we need to hit every single time we go on vacation. I'm going to be honest with you. Like every time we're driving that way, I don't think we need to hit a Buc-ee's. But, you know, I'm glad that we went and saw it and, you know, had the Buc-ee's experience. But, I mean, I don't really get the hype that much. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know people love Buc-ee's and they think it's like the greatest thing ever, but I don't know. Like, I will say, my sister got this pineapple cream soda from there that I would probably be willing to go to another Buc-ee's just for that, because she let me try a drink of it, and it literally tasted and smelled like melted Dole Whip. Like, it was so freaking good. I don't understand how that was so good. So yeah, pineapple cream soda, definitely 10 out of 10 for me. So, you know, I would go back to Buc-ee's solely for that. But, like, it's not like if we never went to another Buc-ee's again, I would be devastated. Like, it was cool to go, like, for the, you know, to say that we've been there. I always hear people talk about it, but I don't really think that it was, like, the greatest thing ever that can't be missed. I don't know. And I guess if you have the opportunity to go to a Buc-ee's, do so, just, you know, to say you did it. But I don't really think that it's like something that I would drive out of my way for, which we almost did. Like if we hadn't elected to stop, because it took us a while to choose where we were going to stop on the way there. Like we chose West Virginia. No, that's not where we're going to go. We chose West Virginia on our way down just because it was the halfway point. But on the way back, we hadn't really came up with anything, and then it was actually one of my coworkers. She did the same trip last year. She also stopped in West Virginia, and she had mentioned how they went to Gatlinburg, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's such a good idea, we should do Gatlinburg too. And when I brought it up to my sister, she absolutely loves Gatlinburg, so she was fully down. And originally I'd wanted to stay in Margaritaville because Lucas loves Margaritaville. But they wouldn't let you stay for, I guess because it was a weekend, you had to stay 2 nights. You couldn't just do 1 night. And since we were only staying for 1 night, it wouldn't have worked out. And we couldn't extend the trip at that point because I had to work. But anyway, so we stopped at the Buc-ee's, did all the Buc-ee's things, checked it out. We were in there for a while, and then we left, and we headed on the road. We did end up stopping right outside of, I'd say a little outside of Pigeon Forge, maybe. We stopped and collected red dirt because I had gotten these little jars off Amazon, these little glass jars, and in West Virginia we just got like some little stones and leaves, and then in Myrtle Beach we made a little oceans in a bottle where we got some sand and some tiny seashells and some ocean water, and we made some cute little oceans in a bottle. And then in Gatlinburg we stopped and got red dirt, and that way we could have little mementos from our trip for each one of us. I got enough for every single person to have 3 bottles, 1 for each spot, that we spent any significant amount of time, and so that was cool. And that, sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. We did that, and then after that we headed out on the road, and we were doing fine, like everything was going alright. Like we were kind of stopping more than I would have wanted to stop. But, I mean, we had to. Like, we literally had no choice. Like, the kids had to be able to stretch their legs. People had to go to the bathroom. It was not anything that, we could really help. You gotta stop. But we were making decent time. Like, we were projected to be home by, like, between 12, I think it was like 12 o'clock. Because I was following with my phone GPS as well. Just because the navigation on the actual vehicle we were in did not always do the greatest. So I was following along with my phone's GPS, and it was showing that we would get home like 12:19, I want to say. We were like, you know what, that's perfect, that works out well. And honestly, a lot of times, like, the kids really didn't want to stop, so we weren't stopping as much as we would have. But, we were stopping, fairly, I don't know, not fairly often, but often enough. And then it was probably around 7:30 or so. We were near the Ohio border, but we were still in Kentucky. We were in Florence, Kentucky. And we ended up, the kids were getting hungry, and I had told my sister that we should stop at a Cane's when we finally got to one. And she was like, yeah, that sounds good. My sister never had Raising Cane's. My kids love it. My nephew is all about chicken, so, once again, maybe not the healthiest chicken, but still chicken, so back off. And, we were waiting until people actually felt hungry, and we decided that we would hit the one in Florence because we weren't really going to go through, Cleveland, which is the one that I usually go to. Like, when I take the kids to Cane's, it's usually in Cleveland. Not that I take the kids that often. We don't live in Ohio, so it's not like, it's not like we just go to Cane's all the time. It's just when we happen to be, near one, for whatever reason. Sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought because I'm trying to catch these frogs. So we decide to pull off at a Cane's in Florence, Kentucky. And everybody was hungry at that point. We get out. We're so excited because my kids love Cane's. I was excited for my sister and my nephew to try it. I don't remember. I don't think Tyler's ever tried it. Maybe he has. I honestly don't remember, and I can't remember if my sister's boyfriend had ever tried it, but I was excited for everybody to try it who hasn't tried it, and, you know, for my kids to get to eat it again because they love it. And, so we get in there, and we order our food, and as we're waiting for it, we all get alerts. Oh, I should mention, prior to this, I had gotten a weather alert for back home because, you know, my phone was still giving me weather alerts for back home all the time because, you know, obviously I have that locked in as, you know, one of my places on my weather apps. And there was some pretty bad weather coming through, so I had let my son know when we got to Canes that, you know, if his friend who was watching our house, you know, to let her know that if she heard the sirens, not to worry, it wasn't a tornado, it was because high winds, but if she was uncomfortable being here and she wanted to go home, she was more than welcome to go home, you know. No big deal. We were going to be home soon. You know, we could take it from there. So, you know, if she didn't want to stay, you know, she didn't have to. And so he texted her and, you know, let her know, hey, you know, just so you know, if you didn't already know, the sirens are not for tornadoes, it's for high winds. But if you don't want to be, you know, at my house and you want to be back at home, you know, with your own family, totally fine. You can go ahead and go home. You know, she said no, she was good. She was going to stay here.
Oh, nice now, day we're
this
having,
is my kind of day.
Or stay at our, you know, here at our house. And so we walk into the Canes, like I said, you know, we order the food, and we're waiting for our food, and we all get tornado warning alerts on our phones. And we're all kind of looking at each other like, okay, like, is this actual tornado warning, or is this or no, that did not happen yet. First we hear sirens, and we're like, okay, is this like at home? Like, do they also do high wind, you know, sirens, or like what's happening? And like, we're kind of looking around, and nobody seems to be like reacting, so we're like, okay, I guess it must be fine. So then we start eating, and we're like, not even halfway through eating, that's when we get the tornado warnings on our phones. And we're like, okay, like, what do we do? Like, is this legit? Like, not as, I mean, obviously it's legit, it's tornado warning, but like, are we able to leave? Do we need to seek shelter? Like, what do we do? Where do we seek shelter? We look around and we see the entire staff of this restaurant is just not there. And we're like, what's going on? Meanwhile, another customer, this pregnant woman with a like young child, comes in, tries to go into the bathroom, and that's where all the staff is. And they tell her, you can't be in here, this is for staff only, there's a tornado coming. So then another customer tells us, there are 2 tornadoes, like headed right this way. And we're like, I'm sorry? There's what? And like, she told us which direction they were, and thank goodness they were the opposite direction from where we needed to go to get home. So we packed everything up. We're like, my sister and I are like trying not to panic. We're trying to keep the kids calm while simultaneously getting them out of there as fast as humanly possible, because we don't know how fast these tornadoes are moving. We don't know how far away this town that this person just told us that they're in is. We don't know anything because we don't live here. The staff, literally some manager, like a teenage girl, comes out, tells us, literally giggling, tells us, well, y'all are welcome to stay in this dining room or you can leave. That's what she tells us. Instead of explaining to us like, hey, you know, there's tornadoes, this is how far away, like anything, telling us, you know, is it safe for us to leave? Like, is it safe for us to get into a vehicle and drive right now? We don't frickin' know. We have no idea. Like, obviously the phone pops up and tells us, you know, like the areas where the tornadoes are, but we don't know this area, so we know we're in Florence. We don't know how close all these other places are. And this was not a situation where I wanted to pull up Google Maps and try to figure this out on my own. Like, it was actually super frustrating that these Canes workers did not give us, like, really any information, any kind of guidance, anything. Like, not even like, hey, you got, because it's not like it was a packed dining room. There's only a few of us in there. So thank goodness that this other customer must have, like, known the area, because she told us where the tornadoes were. She told us, you know, as long as we were headed in the direction we were headed, that we should be okay to get out there. So we did. We frickin' ran like the wind. And it was terrifying. Because then, you know, we get in the car. We're trying so badly to keep our kids calm, because obviously the kids are super freaked out because they, you know, we don't know what's happening. So my sister and I are like, it's okay, guys, you know, we're gonna get in the car right now. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go in the opposite direction of the tornadoes. And, you know, the kids are like, are you sure, you know, are you sure that we're going the right way? Like, are you sure that we're outrunning the tornadoes? Fuck no, we weren't sure. But we were like, absolutely, 100%. Like, we're going the right way. So at first we pull out, we go totally the wrong way. The GPS takes us the wrong way. Like, I'm pretty sure I gave my sister the entirely wrong instructions. Like, we were like trying not to panic. And we ended up having to like turn around to get on the expressway. And, you know, but we did. We got on the expressway successfully. We headed off. Sorry, I don't.
A fella could get used to a place like this.
We headed off to, do I need to eat? What's going on here? These spiral starters. So, you know, we finally get on the expressway, and we, like, shoot down it as fast as we can, and we see the Welcome to Ohio sign, and we're like, oh my gosh, I've never been so freaking happy in my life to see Ohio. So we're like, okay, good. We're out of Kentucky. Hopefully we're, you know, out of the path of the tornadoes now. Like, think about it. So then we get to Ohio, and it is storming like crazy. Like, oh my gosh, lightning, thunder, like crazy winds, like just absolutely nuts. But, you know, in my head I'm thinking, okay, good, you know, it's a storm, so, you know, at least it's not the complete stillness of a tornado. So, you know, at least there's that. Then we get to, stop doing that, and then we get to this one part of Ohio, and all of a sudden there goes another tornado warning on our phones. And we're, you know, we tell the kids right away, it's okay, don't worry about it, you know, no big deal. We are, we're super close to being, we said we're going really fast down the expressway, don't worry, you know, we're gonna get out of this area as quick as possible. So we're going over this bridge. The sky is like this greenish color, and the wind was whipping from every direction, and it was terrible. Me and my sister, like my poor sister, she's the one driving, and like she's like, like I don't know how she managed to do that without completely freaking out, but she did. And she's getting us through the area, and in Ever After yet? Have I not, like, unlocked Ever After? I must not have. And so my sister makes her way, you know, over the bridge, and we kind of get out of the immediate danger, and it's just rained for a while, but oh my gosh, like, it made that whole thing take so much longer, because the storms are so bad that, like, it's not like she could go fast. She had to go, like, no joke, like, probably 35 for, like, hours, because it was, like, it was another 4 hours from when we left Canes, and because of how slow she had to go, we ended up, we should have gotten home at about midnight. It was probably 2:30 in the morning by the time we got home, because the storms were so bad, and we had to, like genuinely, we were so on edge. Like, the kids chilled out, like, once we got, you know, to a certain point, but we were so on edge about, like, if there was going to be more tornado warnings, literally until, like, the rain finally stopped when we got, like, I want to say almost to Detroit. And then we got off on the wrong exit and ended up going through like terrible parts of Detroit, and so that was a little dicey for us a little bit, but then once we got on the correct part of the expressway, we were good to go. But oh my goodness gracious, it was definitely an adventure. Like, it was stressful. That ride home, we literally had to outrun like 3 tornadoes, no joke.
Seems like this
And
valley
it
brings
was
lots of good
terrifying.
folks together.
Because, like, we knew that it was storming in Michigan, like, we knew that, but we thought that it was going to be done by the time we got here, and it did not even cross our minds that it would have extended all the way into Kentucky. Like, we thought maybe we might hit a little bit of it in Ohio, but we figured by the time we got, because it was supposed to be done by like 10 p.m. in Michigan, but it wasn't supposed to be done till like 1 a.m. in Kentucky once we like looked it up. But I didn't even think to like check and see if it was going to be in our path. I was just like, oh, you know, it's storming at home, I hope everybody's okay at home. Like, Jesus. It was definitely an adventure. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to my tale of spring break. And when I come back, we will continue the actual Storybook Dale quest line, because I should be done grinding out enough points to unlock the next area. And so thank you so much for watching. And if you have any crazy spring break stories, let me know them. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.